There is a long-standing argument on whether JavaScript is an interpreted or a compiled language. If you are not familiar, interpreters and compilers are a way of implementing a language. The computers that we know are not familiar with Java, Python, JavaScript. They don't just understand. So we use compilers or interpreters to break down these codes into understandable, machine understandable languages. Compilers take the old written code and translate it into machine code, and then this machine code is then processed and given as an output. You'll be familiar with languages like Java, C++. They are compiled languages. Interpreters, on the other hand, interpret each single line of code. They go one after the other, interpreting each line of code. Python, Ruby are languages such as this, and compilers are known to be much more faster than interpreters. So where does JavaScript fall? JavaScript was originally designed and intended as a scripting language primarily for the web, which made it an interpreted language. This means that the browser the JavaScript code was running on would interpret each line of the code that is written, and we know that JavaScript runs very differently on different browsers. However, relevant modern engines such as the most popular Google's V8 now use just-in-time compilations, which is argued in the computer science corners as a hybrid of both interpreters and compilers. Unlike the regular compilers, just-in-time compilation compiles code during the execution of a program. This JavaScript engine combines the speed of a compiler with the flexibility of an interpreter. So unlike the regular interpretation it does, where it reads each line of code one by one, it now does a compilation at runtime. Let's have a look at how JavaScript engine converts JavaScript code to machine readable language. The first process is the tokenization. This is where the engine breaks up the code into meaningful chunks called tokens. Let's look at this statement. We have variable the age and is assigned to the value 7. Once it undergoes interpretation or compilation in this instance, the tokenization breaks each statement into different chunks of code, and then it passes it. Passing is a methodology whereby the tokens, that is now an array of inputs, will be converted into an abstract syntax tree. This abstract syntax tree is then passed to the final stage, the code generator, and is converted to an executable bytecode. This executable bytecode is the machine readable language. Now we can see that using the just-in compilations, which every modern JavaScript engine uses, JavaScript now undergoes the same processes that a regularly statically typed compiler goes through. In conclusion, is JavaScript an interpreted or a compiled language? I would say that given the way that it is implemented, it is an hybrid which is much more closer to being a compiler or a compiled than an interpreted language.